Welcome to Table Flippers Podcast, outreach of Greater Worship Christian Church here in Lancaster, California. I am your host, Robert Enos, along with Chippy the Chipmunk.
Oh, my adoring fans.
Get ready for a huge dose of reality and a huge dose of common sense.
You said it, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're like me, you've been paying a little bit closer attention to the political landscape out there in America, and you've been hearing and seeing, especially as we're ramping up towards the 2024 elections, you've been hearing different candidates on both sides of the aisle coming out and saying what they believe and what they want and all of this stuff, and you have their supporters also usually in the political scheme, backing them up. And so there's a lot of rhetoric out there today, ladies and gentlemen, politically and such. And, you know, a lot of it's good in the sense of there's a lot of people who have been looking at the landscape of America, politically speaking and otherwise, and really just getting, kind of a common sense approach to some of these problems and these issues. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, I only see that on the Republican side and certainly not on the Democrat side. But nonetheless, there's at least some people out there in the political landscape that are beginning to recognize the real issues from a real world, vantage point, instead of the ivory towers of Washington, D.C., but mainstream, hometown, USA. And anyways, as we're watching this and I'm recognizing this and paying a little bit more attention. I wish I had more time to devote to it. Unfortunately, I don't. But what little time I do give to it, it really is clear that in a lot of ways, we're much better off than some think. And in other ways, it's much worse than we could ever have anticipated. And what I mean is, the Democrat Party, the liberals, have lost their ever-loving minds. I'm talking on every level in politics. I'm talking from the liberal voter all the way up to our liberal president and everybody in between that's quote-unquote liberal. They have lost their ever-loving minds. I was reading another, I was on a website earlier, and it was talking about how they want to defund the police. Actually, there's a group here in my own hometown that wants to get rid of our local sheriff's department. And they call themselves cancer. Well, they are cancers, but cancel the contract. And they basically want to, get the LA County Sheriff's Department out of our city. And as I look at that, the thing that I keep saying, then who's going to police and protect the city? They have all these weird and strange ideas of how that's going to happen. With crime on the rise, remember they started the defund, and this was all the left, on the left, started pushing and crying out, defund the police, defund the police. All these snowflake liberals, just crying like a bunch of little babies. Defund the police. So what did some of these county board of supervisors, especially here in Los Angeles and places like that, liberal places with liberal board of supervisors or liberal mayors, and in our state, liberal governor. So they pushed this whole narrative of defund the police. And now crime is at an astronomical high. And literally, it's crazy of what people are able to. As a matter of fact, you guys all know this. We sold it since then, but we used to own Butler's Coffee there in Palmdale, California. Best coffee in the world, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And it's still in business under a new name of Generations. And the young ladies that are running Generations, once Butler's, great people, still great coffee. So go see them. But we had a boutique that operated inside Butler's Coffee. Just a small boutique of primarily clothing, some makeup, and jewelry. And somebody just literally walked in, grabbed a whole rack full of clothes, lifted them up off the rack, and walked out the door to a pickup truck that was waiting for them, threw it in the back seat, and they all took off before anybody could really figure out what was going on. And then we realized, or we found out, as, you know, of course, we're talking about it, other people are talking about it, other business owners are talking about, yeah, that was a normal thing. That was just normal. And unless it was a certain amount, I believe it was $1,000 worth of merchandise, the police, it's not that they didn't want to, they just couldn't do anything because of our wonderful liberals who are running even the law enforcement. And in that regard, as far, you know, the Gascon, he's down there with the public, whatever he is, public defender or something. What a nuisance this guy is. Anyways, if it's not over $1,000, he's not even going to prosecute. So our police officers, our sheriff's deputies are going, what's the point? There's no point. There's no point in us coming, tracking those guys down and arresting them when they're literally just going to be turned right back out onto the street. No crime, no punishment whatsoever. So here's what's funny to me. So you got this group, again, all liberals, ladies and gentlemen. Crime is already high. And what is their answer to rising crime? Let's defund the police and let's cancel the contract and let's get rid of the LA County Sheriff's Department patrolling our streets. Well, who's going to do that job then? Oh, we'll just figure, I don't know. Maybe the homeless could do it. I'm sorry. I am not making fun of homeless people, ladies and gentlemen. My heart goes out to them. I'm making fun of that idiotic, stupid, ridiculous, and Saturday Night Live comical liberal mindset. I could totally see them. I could totally see them. This group, we're going to cancel the contract. No more sheriff. Well, who's going to fight crime? Who's going to protect the people? Don't worry, we got Bobo the crackhead. He's homeless, but with this new position, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm having fun with this, but this is about how ridiculous the left has gotten. I mean, honestly, they are this absolutely ridiculous. I have been watching, especially with this Jason Aldean song, Try That in a Small Town. The left has lost their mind completely. That means they're saying this is racist. There isn't anything about race in that song at all. Because here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, these guys crack me up sometimes. And I have this idea that it's better to laugh than cry, because you'll just go crazy if you take these people too seriously. Yet we have to take them serious because they do walk among us, ladies and gentlemen. Hide your kids, hide your wives, even hide your husbands, because everybody's getting liberal up in here. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't nobody got time for this. I need to chill. Okay. Deep breaths. Chill out, dude. Liberals are just funny when you stop and think about it, really. It's frustrating, I know, because we have to deal with them. And they actually think, I mean, you know, it's like they live their life as though they're on a stage doing stand-up comedy. But what's really scary is they're absolutely serious. I mean, they're absolutely serious. And so anyways, let me get on this. So you got Jason Aldean with this song, and the left, the liberals, are saying, oh, it's racist, even though there's nothing about race in that song. And why couldn't that song be sung or be representing a small town full of I don't know, black people, or maybe Hispanic, even Asian? You see, they automatically give this knee-jerk reaction. He's singing about a small town full of white people. They're going to go beat up black people. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it had nothing to do with race. And if you're like me, I didn't grow up in what I would say is a small town, but we had a small town mentality because, well, the people in our neighborhood, that was our small town. And it was mixed, and we took care of one another. And that's really all Jason Aldean is singing about, is just taking care of one another in a small town. All right? That could be a small town of predominantly black, a small town of predominantly white, or a small town of predominantly Hispanic, Latino, or Asian, or whatever else is out there. It doesn't matter the color of skin. The premise still remains the same for for the people in these small towns. But the liberals are losing their mind, even going so far as this is going to promote lynching. Really? One, there's nothing about race in the song, and there's certainly nothing about lynching in the song. It's about dealing with criminals. You see, so what the liberals are doing, I see, they're not smart. Liberals are not the smartest people in this world. It's so ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, when I was a kid, we go down to the beach and we find a seashell and we put it up to our ear to hear the ocean. And, you know, it just sounded empty to me. But, you know, you can hear that, like, I guess it could sound like an ocean to some people. I don't need to do that. I don't need to go to the beach. I just find a liberal, put my ear up to their head, and it's the same sound. Oh, mercy. Okay, I need to chill out now. I need to get on with this. So, if it isn't a song from somebody like Jason Aldean, it's Trump. Oh my gosh, all the liberals hate Trump, and they don't even know why they hate him. Or when they think they know why, and they say, "Oh, he's a racist." What did he do that was so racist? I remember watching an interview where somebody was on the street. Yeah, I hate Trump. Why do you hate him? Oh, he's a racist. Well, what did he do as racist? What makes you think he's a racist? Oh, well, if you're, you know, I can't even believe you're asking me that question. And if you even have to ask me that question, I'm not even going to answer it. Well, no, I just need to know. I mean, if I'm supporting a racist, I want to know why. I'm not even going to answer that question. You go figure out yourself. Well, I looked into it. I couldn't find anything that he did or said that was racist. So tell me, what did he say or what did he do? And that blank, stupid stare that comes over their, or they get absolutely so, I mean, out of their mind angry. They start the liberal scream, ah! When they're backed into a corner and they have nothing smart to say, they just scream. So they scream a lot because liberals never have anything smart to say. They're just liberals, and they scream, and they're idiots. And if you, I'm sorry, running through my brain right now is all the liberal screamers, all the purple-haired and green-haired freaks, and all the people that think they're actually making sense, but they make zero sense whatsoever. I know they're on strike right now. I just wonder if I can be one of those, what do they call them? They cross the picket line. So all the writers for Hollywood are on strike right now. So maybe I'll cross the picket line and just start writing for Saturday Night Live. And I'll just write about real world liberals. It will be a hit. I know this. How do I know this? Because a lot of comedians finally had enough. And they're just coming out in their comedy skits and talking about the stupidity of the liberals today. The Rob Schneiders and the Bill Burrs and Chappelle. All these comedians are saying, you know what? We're not going to be canceled. We're not going to be put in a box. We're not going to be forced to say something that we don't find funny. We're going to tell our jokes. And now the joke's on the liberals. People have finally had enough of that stupidity being shoved down their throats. So, anyways, and let me. Ladies and gentlemen, even Hillary Clinton, of all people, is throwing her hat into the ring. I don't know. I think she failed in her run for president. So now she's trying to be queen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it is my political theory that Hillary Clinton doesn't want to be president anymore. That's too low. She wants to be the queen. Mark my words on this, ladies and gentlemen. You watch. She's going to come out and say something. She's going to reveal her true intention. She wants to be queen in America. Now we know she can't be queen of America, but so she wants to be queen in America. All right? And so she's reaching for the highest level or the highest position, especially in liberal land, and the Democrat Party, which is Queen moron. I mean, I know this. Queen stupid. I don't know. Queen stupid, Queen liberal, Queen Democrat. They're all the same. It's all the same thing. So however you want to coin it. So she wants to be queen, ladies and gentlemen. So in order for her to be queen, she had to say something really, really, really stupid and push a stupid narrative, a foolish, ignorant narrative, so that she could rise through the ranks and ultimately one day soon, hopefully, because she's getting old, one day soon be queen of the Democrat Party and the queen of liberalism. So she had to come out and say something foolish. She had to say something foolish. Somebody already said, Jason Aldean is promoting lynching, so she had to find something more dumb. I mean, she herself and others in the party have already said Trump's a racist, so she couldn't go there again because that's already, exhausted itself. So she had to find something that nobody else has said before to keep herself relevant and on the cutting edge of liberal lunacy. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, she's going for the highest position. And in her feminist mind, it's not king, it's queen. Although if they did decide it was king, she's of that party that will one day decide that she's actually a man. And as a matter of fact, she's more of a man than Bill ever was. We know that. So maybe she's already there. I don't know. Maybe she's going, hey, what a novel idea. I think I hit something. I think I'm onto something. Hillary Clinton is going to start going by Hank Clinton, king of the Democrat. Oh my gosh. Yes, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary is changing her gender and her name to Hank Clinton. And he, she, her, she, they, them. It's going to be crowned king of the Democrat loonies. I know I'm onto something here, ladies and gentlemen. I know it. This is going to happen. I know it. They, them, it, whatever her pronouns are, is going to come out and demand that whatever it is going to be crowned. I can't even get this out. Crowned king of the Democrat lunatics. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on to something. So be prepared for this. Be prepared for the announcement. I'm sure it's coming out anytime soon. Probably before we get into these elections any deeper, because, hey, if she's crowned king, he, she, they, them, it is crowned king. Why do we need a president? Hey, just hand everything over to whatever Hank is. Anyways, now I want to... I'm sorry. I didn't mean to have this much fun. I was going to come on here, read a little bit of an article, give some comment to it, and this is hitting me. This is funny. This is funny to me. So it says this is from Daily Wire, and from July 25th. So this was yesterday, July 25th, 2023, an article. The person that wrote this article, Virginia Kruta, Kruta, of the Daily Wire. And it says this: Hillary Clinton says MAGA Republicans are the reason summer is hot. So, of course, this headline captures my attention. The title of this article captures my attention. So I said, I got to read this. So a lot of times I just pass over some headlines that are just really off the charts weird because, I don't I don't claim to be the smartest man in the world. I do claim to be the smartest man in the universe, okay? But that's a little bit different. But anyways, I really appreciate all my brain cells, right where they're at in my skull, working and functioning the way they're supposed to. So I really appreciate that. And I'm afraid that some of these things that the liberals are doing and saying that if I give too much attention to are going to fry some of my brain cells. And I don't want that to happen. Come on. Send your kids that are nice, bright kids. They get good grades, 4.0, 3.7, 3.8, 4.0, grade point average. They're clean cut, nice haircuts. They dress nice. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. They're just the greatest kids in the world. You send them off to college, and from the time you send them off and then they come home for Thanksgiving or Christmas vacation, they've gained 50 pounds. They're dressed like slobs. They got purple hair, tattoos up and down their neck and up around their face, piercings everywhere. And if you say something that they don't like, they just sit at the Thanksgiving dinner table with a plate full of mashed potatoes and peas because now they're vegan. They're vegan. And they just sit there and scream. Why? Because they said they saw a dead turkey on the table. I mean, come on. You send them off to these liberal colleges and wonder what happened to my good little boy or my good little girl. You sent them off to a liberal college. What did you think was going to happen? Well, I thought they were going to come home with a great education. Oh, they're being educated in stupid. Anyways, Hillary Clinton says MAGA Republicans are the reason summer is hot. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has determined that this summer is excessively hot, and rather than the Earth's tilt coupled by the time of year, it's MAGA Republicans who are at fault. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a MAGA Republican means Trump supporter, Make America Great Again Republican, that's a Trump supporter. So if you support Trump, if you consider yourself MAGA, you just want to make America great again, you're the reason summer is hot. I don't know what the reason, when I was a kid, it was really hot as well. I don't know what the reason was for summer being hot 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago. But today, in 2023, we're having this heat wave. And MAGA Republican, it's your fault. Yep, that's right. So let's go on. Clinton shared a graphic from the Center of American Progress, which showed a series of headlines about heat waves and record high temperatures across the country, along with the caption, MAGA Republicans are pouring fuel on the climate crisis fire. Clinton added her own thoughts as well, tweeting, hot enough for you? Thank a MAGA Republican. Or better yet, vote them out of office. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I can't have a moment of seriousness just to make a point. I don't know which is worse. The Democrats that are, the Democrat politicians, government officials and such, or the people that vote for them. Well, I mean, honestly, it's the people that vote for them, because how can you look at such absurdity and vote for that? How can, and Hillary Clinton, that's Clinton, Bill Clinton's husband. Bill Clinton's husband right there writing this stuff. Now becoming Hank Clinton, wannabe king of the Democrat Party. I mean, come on. These are high-ranking Democrats in the party. And there are still American people that will vote for this. This absurdity, this lunacy, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I knew that we had a drug problem in America. I didn't know it was this bad, that there are so many people whose brains are fried that they find this okay and normal. We need to really get on this. It shows, I don't know, I guess a tweet. Yeah, it's a tweet from Hillary Clinton that says, hot enough for you, thank a MAGA Republican, or better yet, vote them out of office. And there's a little graph thing that's from Cap Action. I don't know who they are. And it says, MAGA Republicans are pouring fuel on the climate crisis fire. And it gives a little clips from, like, say, the Washington Post, where it says, Phoenix hits record for 19th day of 110 plus degrees in a row, with more ahead. CNN, 39-day heat wave could last into August after smashing 2,300 plus records. CNBC, we are in uncharted territory. World record hottest day ever for the third time in just 4 days. Forbes, July 4 was Earth's hottest day in over 100,000 years. Now, I don't know, because I knew Forbes was owned and had a lot of old guys on it, but I didn't know they were that old. Anyway, so 100,000 years, okay. Breaking record for second day in a row. NOAA, N-O-A-A, Earth just had the hottest June on record. And it says, the climate crisis is here. That's why President Biden passed historic clean energy investments that will grow the economy and help fight climate change. Every MAGA Republican in Congress voted no. Well, I thank God that all of those MAGA Republicans voted no because, oh, the absurdity of this. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why. I was just somewhere else. I was just flipping through a bunch of articles and skimming through some articles and doing some research on some other things. And I came across some research on climate. And did you know, I don't know if you realize this, but did you know that right now we are producing less emissions in the world than we did, say, 10 years ago? So we're cleaning things up at a record pace, all right? And the United States of America is actually one of the cleanest countries per capita of all the nations on the earth. China being one of the worst, America being one of the best. And yet it's still us, you and I, and now MAGA Republicans that are getting blamed the most. This is absurd and ridiculous. And here is the little secret that a lot of people don't tell you. You know how we're producing all this CO2 and pumping it into the atmosphere. Oh my gosh. And they're saying that because of this, it's causing so many problems. Let me tell you one of the problems that it's causing. You see, plants actually eat up CO2 and spit out oxygen. Higher CO2 means, in a very real way, more food for plants. And when they spit out oxygen, that's more oxygen for you and me. And it's a great cycle that God himself has created. And he put this into our ecosystem. Do you know that the forests on the earth, I know, brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen, they don't want to tell you this. As a matter of fact, they're lying to our children. They're lying to all of us when they say we are destroying forests at a record rate and we are losing forests every day. The truth is our forests all over the world are actually growing, and we have more forest land today. That means more plants on the earth today than we did 140, 150 years ago. I want that to sink in for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, because not only are there more forests, because we have changed the way we have done things, such as logging out certain areas for lumber and such. We don't do that anymore. We still use lumber, but we don't completely log out an area. We do a healthy kind of a thinning, if you will, which makes these forests more healthy. And then in just a few years, you can't even tell that there was any logging in that place at all. Okay? And this is all over the place. Do you know, because of CO2 in the air, and yes, even a little bit warmer climate, that plants, crops that feed people, grow in areas that they wouldn't grow before. And we're producing crops, more edible food for the world population today than we did at any point in history. Why? Because of all the CO2 that we are putting into the air. So there you go. Am I saying that pollution is a good thing? No, we just need to redefine some of the things that we call pollution, and we need to be honest about it. You see, because these loony leftist Democrats, they don't want things to work, because when things work for you and me, they no longer can control us. That's what is behind all of this. They're trying to create a problem that they can control, and they're blaming the people that are more and more and more just going, you know what? I'm not getting caught up in this nonsense anymore, so forget it. Oh, well, you're the problem. You're a MAGA Republican. It went from 100 to 101 because of you. Oh, come on, people. Anyway, so let me keep reading this. The implication, of course, was that MAGA Republicans were directly causing the Earth's temperature to rise by standing in the way of the left's increasingly intrusive demands in the name of reducing global temperatures. Critics quickly began to mock Clinton. Oh, you think? But critics quickly began to mock Clinton, some noting that unless it was particularly convenient for Democrats, most insist that climate and weather were not the same. MAGA Republicans are powerful enough to control the seasons, apparently, and without them, we'd have no summer, syndicated radio host Dana Loesch commented. I think that's how you say his name. Her name, Loesch, commented. I think that's funny. Because, yeah, think about it. Hillary, I know you want to change to Hank and be crowned king. We realize that now, and whatever, whatever floats your boat. the USS Clinton. it's a tugboat that has sprung a leak. But don't worry, they painted it pink. Anyways, you're attributing to us MAGA Republicans a lot of power that we now, this nice select group of Americans, have the power to change the weather and to change not just the weather, but seasons. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to know what power is, the power of the right side. Come to and be a Republican. Come and be a Republican, and we'll show you the power of the right side. Oh, Lord have mercy. These people crack me up. Anyways, let me get on with this. It goes on to say, the Daily Wire host, Matt Walsh, weighed in as well, saying they are now directly blaming MAGA Republicans for the temperature outside. The Democrat Party has fallen fully into a state of primitive superstition. They have all the scientific credibility of an Aztec priest in the year 1450. He was so nice here and politically correct. I'd have just said, yeah, the Democrat Party is full of idiots. I mean, they're morons. Oh, the Democrat Party has fallen fully into a state of primitive superstition. They have all the scientific credibility of an Aztec priest in the year 1450. But Matt, now I appreciate Matt Walsh, ladies and gentlemen. I love listening to him. He's brilliant. He really is. He's brilliant. But the problem that I have with what he just said is not what he said per se, because I totally agree. These people are nuts. These people are absolutely nuts. But what we need to understand is these nutty people think there's actually value, and that these Aztec priests so long ago that were ripping people's chests open and yanking out still beating hearts, that there was some type of value in it because they were the indigenous natural people that we need to give the land back to and do things the way they want us to do. I mean, come on. They're that nuts, ladies and gentlemen. So they're gonna read this and go, yeah, that's right. We need to be like those Aztec priests back in 1450. Give me a flint knife. I'll show you what I mean. Anyways, let me go on. If you elect Democrats, the weather will improve, Seth Dillon added. So Seth Dillon says, if you elect a Democrat, the weather will improve. That's where I disagree again. I know he was trying to make a joke, ladies and gentlemen, and I find the joke funny. The classic humor was funny. But the reason I say I disagree is because the Democrat Party spews, I don't use that kind of language, but bull excrement, bull poop, at such a high rate and a high level that, man, the methane gas that's coming from what they are saying is worse than a field full of cows. And it's just polluting the air. And it's causing global warming, not because of just the CO2, but because of all the methane that's coming out of these Democrats. And now, can you imagine? Don't smoke around Hillary Clinton. She might blow up. You might go with her with all that methane gas coming out of King Hank. Let me go. I'm sorry, I just got a visual on that one. Let me go on. Brian Dean Wright tweeted, China permits 2 new coal plants each week. Ladies and gentlemen, here in the United States of America, the wonderful Biden administration and his cohorts, the Democrat Party, the leftist weirdos, have shut down, for the most part, shutting down the whole coal industry and such, because we're trying to get to clean, renewable energy, and our costs are going up. People are not finding jobs. The business sector in that area is all but dried up, and it's hurting America horribly. It's hurting us horribly. And China is permitting 2 coal plants each week. Well, what do those coal plants do? They make electricity. They make energy. And so Brian Dean Wright writes, China permits 2 new coal plants each week. If you're angry about climate change, thank a communist. And that's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I have my window open because it's so hot and I have the swamp cooler blowing through. So I apologize if you hear some cars like that, going behind me. But anyways, if you're angry about climate change, and this is the truth, ladies and gentlemen, this is honestly the truth. Thank a communist or politician like the Clintons who take their cash. You see, so they're increasing their need for coal. They're in China, coal production in China, building and permitting more coal plants for electricity. And here in America, they're shutting us down. Who's doing that? Well, people such as the Clintons and the Bidens and the Obamas and all of that. So if coal and the burning of coal actually does lead to climate change and hotter weather, well, you can blame the communists and their cohorts who are the Democrat Party. Hillary Clinton, King Hank Clinton and his wife, Bill Clinton, their cohorts. I mean, they're in this. Taking Chinese money. If it's hot, this is why the Democrats are famous for that, especially the Clintons. Come out and whatever they're doing that's wrong, blame the Republicans and keep blaming the Republicans until people, the voters of America, buy into their lies and vote for them again. And this has been the cycle with the Democrat Party, well, since the slave days. And I'm not making fun. That's just the reality of it. They're liars, they're cheaters, they're wicked, they're evil people. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think, if you just really stop and think about it for just a moment and use the brain cells that God has given you for just a moment, I think we'd all agree it'll be a bad day for America if they ever crowned Hank Clinton king of America. And his wife, Bill Clinton, Queen of America. I mean, come on. On Epstein Island, they already had a painting of Bill Clinton in a dress. I'm not too off the mark here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me keep going. Politicizing summer is the dumbest, most desperate, and embarrassing of all the dumb, desperate, and embarrassing things, Doug Powers said. The almost too bad Democrat president encouraging her emotionally unstable followers to blame their political opponents for the weather. Radio host Buck Sexton says. A number pointed out the fact that, comparatively speaking, the United States account for less than 15% of global emissions, while China accounted for nearly twice that at 27%. So China has 27%, and it's growing, with 2 new, coal plants permitted, was it each week? Where is it? Yeah, each week. 2 coal plants each week China permits. So their 27% of all the global emissions is going to radically increase if they keep that up for too long. And this is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen, that you and I, as Americans here in America, keep getting blamed for this nonsense when we have some of the strictest rules and laws that we are trying to live by, some of the highest taxes that we are paying because of this. And isn't it like a Democrat that what is their answer? More regulation and higher taxes. That's what it comes down to. So it has nothing to do with emissions, has nothing to do with the weather, has nothing to do with any of that. It just has the Democrat Party wanting to control you and I even more and take more and more of our money. That's what it boils down to. And ladies and gentlemen, there's somebody who will probably listen to this particular episode and still run out and vote for a Democrat. I don't know, but every vote for a Democrat just gets closer and closer to Hillary making the full transition to Hank, and Hank Clinton being crowned king of the Democrat Party. I don't know about you. I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
I'm moving to Washington, D.C. because there's bigger nuts out there.
Thank you for choosing Table Flippers Podcast. To find our merchandise page, go to gwcclancaster.org. Then find the Table Flippers link, click on it, and it'll take you right there. Until next time, have a fantastic day. Say goodbye, Chippy.
Goodbye.